The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a giant seated figure, about 12.4 meters, 41 feet tall, made by the Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC at the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece, and erected in the temple of Zeus there. Zeus is the sky and thunder god in ancient Greek religion, who rules as king of the gods on Mount Olympus. The statue was a chryselephantine sculpture of ivory plates and gold panels on a wooden framework. Zeus sat on a painted cedar-wood throne ornamented with ebony, ivory, gold, and precious stones. It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The statue was lost and destroyed before the end of the 6th century AD, with conflicting accounts of the date and circumstances. Details of its form are known only from ancient Greek descriptions and representations on coins and art. The statue of Zeus was commissioned by the Hellens, custodians of the Olympic Games, in the latter half of the 5th century BC for their newly constructed Temple of Zeus. Seeking to outdo their Athenian rivals, the Hellens employed sculptor Phidias, who had previously made the massive statue of Athena Parthenis in the Parthenon. The statue occupied half the width of the aisle of the temple built to house it. The geographer Strabo noted early in the 1st century BC that the statue gave the impression that if Zeus arose and stood erect, he would unroof the temple. The Zeus was a chryselephantine sculpture, made with ivory and gold panels on a wooden substructure. No copy in marble or bronze has survived, though there are recognizable but only approximate versions on coins of nearby Eolus and on Roman coins and engraved gems. The 2nd century AD geographer and traveler Pausanias left a detailed description. The statue was crowned with a sculpted wreath of olive sprays and wore a gilded robe made from glass and carved with animals and lily. Its right hand held a small chryselephantine statue of crowned Nike, goddess of victory. Its left a scepter inlaid with many metals, supporting an eagle. The throne featured painted figures and wrought images and was decorated with gold, precious stones, ebony, and ivory. Zeus' golden sandals rested upon a footstool decorated with an Amazon omachi in relief. The passage underneath the throne was restricted by painted screens. Pausanias also recounts that the statue was kept constantly coated with olive oil to counter the harmful effect on the ivory caused by the marshiness of the Altis grove. The floor in front of the image was paved with black tiles and surrounded by a raised rim of marble to contain the oil. This reservoir acted as a reflecting pool which doubled the apparent height of the statue. According to the Roman historian Livy, the Roman general Aemilius Paulus, the victor over Macedon, saw the statue and was moved to his soul, as if he had seen the god in person. While the 1st century AD Greek orator Dio Chrysostom declared that a single glimpse of the statue would make a man forget all his earthly troubles. According to Roman historian Suetonius, the Roman Emperor Caligula gave orders that such statues of the gods as were especially famous for their sanctity or their artistic merit, including that of Jupiter at Olympia, should be brought from Greece in order to remove their heads and put his own in their place. The emperor was assassinated before this could happen in 41 AD. His death was supposedly foretold by the statue, which suddenly uttered such a peal of laughter that the scaffolding collapsed and the workmen took to their heels. In 391 AD, the Christian Roman Emperor Theodosius I banned participation in pagan cults and closed the temples. The sanctuary at Olympia fell into disuse. The circumstances of the statue's eventual destruction are unknown. The 11th century Byzantine historian Georgios Kedrenos records a tradition that it was carried off to Constantinople, where it was destroyed in the Great Fire of the Palace of Lausus in 475 AD. Alternatively, the statue perished along with the temple, which was severely damaged by fire in 425 AD. But earlier loss or damage is implied by Lucian of Samosata in the later 2nd century, who referenced it in Timon. They have laid hands on your person at Olympia, my lord high thunderer, and you had not the energy to wake the dogs or call in the neighbors. Surely they might have come to the rescue and caught the fellows before they had finished packing up the loot. The approximate date of the statue, the third quarter of the 5th century BC, was confirmed in the rediscovery 1954 to 1958 of Phidias' workshop, approximately where Pausanias said the statue of Zeus was constructed. Archaeological finds included tools for working gold and ivory chippings, precious stones, and terracotta molds. Most of the latter were used to create glass plaques and to form the statue's robe from sheets of glass, naturalistically draped and folded, then gilded. A cup inscribed Phi Epsilon Iota Delta Iota Omicron Upsilon Epsilon Iota Mu Iota, or I belong to Phidias, was found at the site. However, the inscription is considered by some to be a forgery.